everyone with a Violent Reality. I'm Casey Rain.
I'm Kim Chameleon. And
welcome to This Week in Prince, episode 45.
The long-awaited.
Yeah, very long awaited. Before we get into it, I just want to say that we're sorry for the massive gap between 44 and 45. We had to take a little bit of time off. We were away, we were out of the country, and then we came back and we had other family stuff going on, all kinds of things, and it hit us in the video making department a little bit, so for that we are sorry. But we also did go to the O2 exhibit and the Steve Parke exhibit during that time frame, and we managed to do videos whilst we were there. So if you haven't seen those, go to our channel, watch our review of the My Name is Prince exhibit and our opening of the Steve Parke exhibit, which we hosted the after party at and DJ'd at, and it was awesome.
It was so much fun, and we really want to give, first things first, we want to give a shout out to Steve for coming to the UK, because God,
Legend.
He's such an amazing man, and he's so wonderful to talk to.
Yeah, we love you, Steve.
Yes.
All right, now let's get into all of the news that we have missed and all of the most recent Prince news that we haven't covered yet on this channel, and there's so much of it. Oh my gosh. So the big thing this week is that the estate are suing Roc Nation and Tidal for fraud. Now, if you've been following us for a while, you probably know where we stand on this, and that is that we were very upset and confused that after Prince died, Tidal started uploading all this material that they hadn't made available before, and it just seemed really suspicious to us. Now, they have claimed this entire time that they had an agreement with Prince, and obviously we know they had an agreement for Hit and Run and the stuff that was uploaded before he passed, but it seems that they are now being sued for failing to produce any evidence of any agreement to continue uploading Prince music after he passed, and in relation to the specific albums that they uploaded after he passed away. Now, it does seem like they acted very suspiciously. Maybe if they can produce some kind of agreement and they can prove it, then that's fine. The estate is saying that they've had chances to produce this agreement and haven't done so, which doesn't look good. Either way, it's a very sticky situation, and we will see what happens.
Yep. Now let's talk about something completely different, but it still has to do with music. You all know that this EP called Deliverance came out how many months ago?
Well, actually, it didn't come out, that's the thing.
It came out, but it didn't come out. Some of us listened to it, some of us didn't. It felt like it came out, but then it wasn't allowed to come out, but yeah. So, this newspaper in Portland, which is close to where the record label that released, or didn't release, the EP is based, wrote a really great article about Deliverance called Deliverance Interrupted.
Yep, so they recounted the entire history of how this happened, how Ian Boxhill, Prince's engineer, had worked on these songs and then done a deal with this independent label RMA based in Vancouver, Washington, which is really interesting because people think Vancouver, they think Vancouver, Canada, but Vancouver, Washington is in the US, and it's a much smaller place just over the river from Portland, where I used to live. So in Portland, you've got the river, you go north of the river, you're in Vancouver, Washington, which is not, a particularly notable city, at least not for music. So this is a really cool article about this, the entire story of how this was come about and how they were shut down by the Prince estate for not, actually having the rights to do this. And now they have like a warehouse full of
vinyl and CDs
and Deliverance that they can't sell.
Yeah, and there's a very interesting thing about the vinyl in specific, because the vinyl has a previously unreleased track on it. Not that the whole EP was released, but yeah, something that we haven't heard before. It is the demo of the song called I Am. Yep,
so if you have heard the Deliverance EP, you'll know the song on there that's called I Am. Apparently the vinyl, as a bonus track on the end, has the original untouched version of I Am, which from what the article says may just be Prince on guitar and vocals, and a very sort of unpolished version of the track compared to the produced version of the track that Ian had done and put on the Deliverance EP. So, either way, go read the article. It's absolutely fascinating.
It is.
Hopefully they can come to some kind of deal at some point in the future with the Prince estate and get this out there.
Yeah, because it would be great to hear that demo of I Am.
Yeah, and really the EP, like, it feels really cohesive. It feels like I know that most people who heard that really enjoyed it, regardless of all the cloudiness around it. It was a very enjoyable EP. So yeah, maybe they can come to a deal. Maybe that comes out at some point in the future. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, check the link in the description and go read this article because it's really good. Cool.
So worth the read.
Now, if you've ever been on the site for the Red Bull Music Academy, you know they do lots of fascinating interviews with musicians and engineers and producers and all kinds of things. Now, Sylvia Massey is one engineer that worked with Prince in the late 80s, early 90s. She is absolutely amazing. She did some great work with Prince and after working with Prince as well. So they did an interview with her where she goes into detail about her time working for Prince, and it's really, really cool, and we love hearing stories like this. So if you haven't seen that interview with Sylvia Massey, check the link in the description below and definitely go and read it. If you are an audio nerd like we are, then you will absolutely love it.
Like Prince once told you to not buy the Black Album, we will tell you this time to actually go buy the Black Album. Huh? Why are we saying that to you?
Yeah.
Because a record label called Juno Records is re-releasing the Black Album on the 25th of December, which is a great Christmas present.
Exactly. I mean, what better Christmas present than the Black Album? I mean, come on now. So yeah, Juno Records are re-releasing the Black Album. It's coming out on the 25th of December.
Yeah.
Check the description, and there's a link there where you can buy it.
Yeah, you can. You pre-order it yet?
Yeah, just to be clear, it's not like a remaster or anything.
No,
It's
just the album as it is.
Reissue. Yeah. Obviously, been out of print for a while.
Yep.
Now you can get it.
Go find it.
Okay, now back to the politics of the Prince estate and the heirs. As you guys know, especially you guys who have been watching since the very first episode of This Week in Prince that we did over a year ago at this point, and even if you've only started watching recently, you will know that the saga of the Prince estate is a ongoing thing, and it's been very messy ever since Prince died, and it is just as messy now. And the this infighting and all this drama, it doesn't appear to be going away anytime soon, unfortunately. So just as a recap, you've got 6 heirs to the Prince estate. 3 of them are on one team and 3 of them are on another team, and the 3 that are on one team are disagreeing with the 3 that are on the other team, and it's all very, very, very messy. 3 of them are being looked after by Van Jones, 3 of them are being looked after by Londell Macmillan, and they are very much not agreeing with each other. So the latest update is that the 3 heirs that are being represented by Londell, which is Sharon, Noreen and John Nelson, have filed a petition to remove Comerica Bank as the estate administrator. Now, Comerica Bank became the administrators of the estate at the beginning of this year, taking over from RMA Bank, who were doing it before that. And Comerica have done things like put Troy Carter in place as the entertainment advisor and overseen the move of the vault out of Paisley Park and into the Iron Mountain storage facility in LA, which we talked about in a previous video.
The last one, actually.
And now the 3 heirs that are being represented by Londell, which is Sharon, John and Noreen, have filed a petition to remove Comerica Bank as the estate administrator. They are very, very unhappy with Comerica. It seems that the other 3 heirs, which is Taika and Omar and Alfred, they appear to have absolutely no problem with Comerica as far as we know at this time. So now you've got 3 heirs happy with what's going on and 3 heirs very unhappy with what's going on, and it's causing a big shit storm. Now, it's very unfortunate because, this kind of stuff takes away from, the work and the time that can be spent on actually getting, new unheard Prince music out there, which is ultimately what all the fans want. And so we really, really hope that some kind of understanding and some kind of reconciliation can be worked out, but at the moment it doesn't seem very likely. Once you've gotten to a point where 3 heirs want to completely remove the people that are in control of the business, then that is clearly a very serious point that they've gotten to. And I think a big problem, I really, really think it comes down to communication. So, for example, when the vault was moved out of Paisley Park, when we heard about the vault being moved out of Paisley Park, understandably, the majority of the fan base were very, very upset about this. But then later on, when it was explained that, this news article came out in particular recently saying that, the vault was damaged and it was water damage and all this kind of stuff, which we actually knew because, Manuela had told us that before when we had a meeting with her, and she had told us that was the case, even when she was married to Prince, which was, over 11 years ago at this point.
So like the climate control was broken.
Stuff was
not being baked.
Exactly. We had heard this firsthand, way before this news article came out. But for a lot of fans, it was quite new information or confirmation. Maybe they'd heard rumors, and it's been confirmed. So the point that I'm making is that when that information was confirmed to a lot of fans, actually the narrative changed, and it's like, okay, well, if Paisley Park is not suitable for it, then we understand why they've moved stuff out of Paisley Park and to Iron Mountain. Now, it's important to remember that actually, for a lot of people, that's still not really enough, because then you get into a different argument about, okay, why could they not spend the money on, upgrading the Paisley Park facility for storage rather than just like, let's move it out to LA, which in some ways seems like the easy option for the administrators and also the easy option for the record executives who are all based in LA and obviously not in Minneapolis and probably don't want to have to keep going in and out of Minneapolis to do stuff. But anyway, that's a whole different argument. But the point being is that if they'd communicated that at the start, then there would at least have been some understanding as to why decisions were being made. So
I feel like everyone has a right to have their own opinions on something. Like we said in the video that was about the whole moving of the vault. I think it was the last trip that actually had the whole talking about moving the vault in it. But yeah, so I think that, from a music business kind of view, like from our kind of view, I think it's a good thing that they're trying to save what can be saved, because Prince has such an amazing library of tons and tons and tons of music that he's made, and there's just so much in every different era, and we would be so sad to see that get to waste. And to leave that in Paisley Park, I guess it would just be rotting away if you wouldn't be doing anything with it. So, from a music perspective, tapes need to be baked. Otherwise, you won't be able to play them anymore. Like with a tape, you can't just pick it up, put it in a tape player, because you'll break it and you'll never be able to hear it ever again. Now, with more digital recordings, obviously, it's a lot easier. So I think a lot of the early stuff really needs to be looked after by people that know what they're doing. Then again, I also understand a point of view where us, the fans, are like, we wanted to stay in Minneapolis because that's where it was created and that's where he's always kept it.
Yeah, so it's a very difficult situation, it seems like, even within the heirs, you have a huge amount of disagreement about how the way things are being handled, and that's a real shame. So hopefully at some point there can be some reconciliation and they can work together to move forward. We're trying very hard to be diplomatic and not take any sides, so that's why we always try and look at things from both different perspectives. We have no team or side that we're backing in this race. We just want the best for Prince's legacy.
And for the fans, obviously, because we all want to eventually hear all of the music that he's created that we've never heard. At least we know that, us as the fans are being listened to, because if we do raise our voices a bit, there will be more information that comes out, as you saw with the whole story behind moving the vault. So yeah.
Exactly. It's very important that as fans we are listened to. And it, the one silver lining is that it does appear that is the case. Fans' feelings are being taken into account, or no matter what side of the fence you're on about certain decisions, then that will be looked at and taken into account by Comerica and the heirs. And I don't think they're just like locked away making decisions on their own. I do think that they are listening to what the fans want, so that is good.
And also, you're always free to say whatever you want to on our channel, because obviously we respect everybody's opinion, and you can have a totally different opinion from us. Now, we'll never shut you down about anything, and just feel free to always get a discussion going in the comments, because that is what the internet is for, because the internet's a free space.
What it's all about.
Get to post your opinions.
That's what it's all about, rebel people.
Let's stop talking about this now, because we've talked about this for way too long.
Exactly, and we've got lots more news to talk about, so let's get on to the next bit.
Let's move into something about building stuff, because I know that a lot of us I did. I don't know if you did. Play with Lego when we were a kid, or maybe even...
Not really, I didn't.
You didn't play with Lego? Well, I'm
thing.
pretty sure some people, or some people's kids, played with Lego when they were kids. And now there is a Lego model that you can build yourself of First Avenue. And First Avenue is selling it on their website for $45. And it has like 95 pieces or something like that. So it's quite a build, but yeah, it looks awesome.
And it even has Prince's gold star marks on it. So you know that after he died, somebody went and filled in his star on the side of the club with gold in comparison to, you know, all the other artists that are on there with the regular silver stars. And the Lego piece has that in gold,
star,
so that's awesome.
So yeah, if you want to, and if you fancy building some Lego stuff, buy it, because it's available now on First Avenue's website.
That's right. So as you know, if you are subscribed to us, then the O2 exhibit, the My Name is Prince exhibit in London is now open. We went to the VIP opening night, and then we went again the next day, and we delivered an entire video review that of our experiences there after the first night. So if you haven't seen that yet, go back to our channel and watch it. I'm sure that most of you have seen pictures and all kinds of things from the event now. It's running until January. If you have the chance to get to London and come and see it, then you really should. You really should. Also, there's a ton of merchandise available, and so you can get stuff there that you can only otherwise get at Paisley Park.
So
take the opportunity to do that.
They're actually selling programs now, which they weren't when we were there for the first time, but they are selling programs. So if you're going and you feel like you want to take a piece of the exhibition home with you, then I would definitely recommend to get one of the programs, because obviously it's always nice to have that as a bit of memorabilia to remind you of where you've been and what it looked like. It's really cool, and the back of it has a paisley print on it, which is amazing. So that's the inside of it. Yeah. Look at the back of it. It has like a paisley print on it. How cool is that? That's really cool. I like that. So yeah.
Shout out to Rona. Yeah. Rona sent us one of these because they weren't selling these when we went to the exhibit in the first few days, and now they are.
Yeah. So thanks, Rona. Yeah.
So yeah, if you do get the chance to go to London, definitely go. They've also got some merchandise there that we've been told isn't available at Paisley Park, so it's exclusive to the London exhibit. I understand that this might be one of the things that is exclusive to the London exhibit, which is an NPG beanie hat. Yep. Not going to put it on now or in my hair, but this is, you know, when I have a bad hair day, I'll be rocking that.
It's cool for when you don't have a bad hair day as well. They're just cool. We like them. Actually, we wear them when we go on the plane a lot of times, and people look at us like we're part of Prince's crew, and we feel like we get a gig with Prince and stuff. But yeah.
So yeah, London exhibit rocks. Go.
Prince's blue cloud guitar sold for $700K in dollars.
$700,000. Oh my god, that's crazy. So lots of Prince stuff being auctioned since he passed, of course. That was to be expected. But $700,000 for the blue clown guitar is pretty insane.
Now, question is, if you paid that much for a guitar, would you be playing it, or would you be keeping it safe? If Prince played it. What would you do? What would you guys do in the comments? Would you play it, or would you keep it safe? I think if I was able to play guitar, I'd play it, but I'd be terrified of breaking it though. What about you?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, but yeah, so it's sold. So congratulations to the new owner. We hope you look after it properly.
You better, or we'll come for you. Steve Parke's gallery exhibit is live in London, and as we mentioned at the beginning of this video, we did the launch party, after party, and DJ there, and provided the entertainment and beverages and looked after everyone, and it is fantastic. Massive shout out to Steve Parke, massive shout out to Proud Galleries in central London. If you are going to London, maybe for the O2 exhibit, then pop over to the Steve Parke Gallery show as well to see some amazing framed replicas of the photographs that he took, of many of the photographs that he took of Prince. Also, you can buy them. You can buy the framed ones as well. They're a lot of money. So if you got a big fat wad of cash knocking about in your pocket, then maybe you can buy one of these framed Prince pictures. Now, if you want to go and looking for the gallery, it is conveniently located right next to Charing Cross train station. So if you know London Charing Cross, then just go there, and it's like literally 2 minutes walk from there. Also, watch our video from the launch.
Links in the description below. Also, shout out to Mobeen as well for doing the Q&A with Steve.
Yes, and to Martin Homan, who did the Q&A in Manchester, which we didn't attend, but was also a highlight of the trip.
So it was awesome. Morris Day has a new track coming out with no one but the one and only Snoop Dogg.
Yes.
Wow. How cool is that? I'm surprised I didn't do that earlier, to be fair.
It makes so much sense.
I know. So the track is called One Night Stand. We don't know when it's going to come out yet, but the artwork is already available and you can find it on our Facebook page.
Yes, you can. Now, if you didn't know, Morris, over the last year, he signed to Snoop's label, which is Doggy Style Records. He already did a tribute to Prince called Over That Rainbow, which was released on Snoop's label, and now they are following that up with an actual collaboration. Now, Snoop has been a huge fan of Morris and The Time for many years. He did a cover of Cool a few years ago, which was awesome. And it just makes sense. I mean, it just makes sense. It's a perfect awesome. Collaboration. Awesome. Looking forward to this Morris Day and Snoop Dogg collaboration. We'll have more news for you as and when there is some.
Yes.
Shout out to Snoop, shout out to Morris. Looking forward to it.
Woo!
Mixing that Minneapolis sound with that G-Funk.
Oh, definitely.
Now, recently, the new movie Justice League came out, which is a DC movie, kind of like the DC equivalent of what Marvel do with the Avengers, where you get a bunch of superheroes, many of whom have already had their own movies, teaming up for a big epic fight against evil. So Justice League has like Batman and like Aquaman and Wonder Woman, and we haven't seen it yet. It only just came out. We're definitely going to go and see it. But they paid tribute to Prince and David Bowie in the movie. They have a newspaper that's shown in the movie, and it's wondering if superheroes have returned to their home planets. And this is following on from the disappearance or possibly death of Superman. I don't know, because I haven't seen the previous movie yet either. Anyway, so the front page of the newspapers is wondering if superheroes have returned to their home planets, and you've got Superman, David Bowie, and Prince on the cover of the newspaper, which I thought was a really, really nice thing to do.
It is, yeah.
And also, it's true. He did return to his home planet. Yes.
I just love how there's nothing but love for Prince everywhere, and also for David Bowie, because obviously he's an amazing artist as well. And, you know, there's nothing but love for these artists that literally are and always will be legends.
Yep.
And quite frankly, I don't think there'll ever be anyone else like Prince. Like he said in the song, there'll never be another one like me.
Exactly.
And I'm telling you, he is going to be right. He was right and will always be right. There will never be anyone like Prince. And that's why we still love him so much. And that's why we need to keep his legacy alive. And we need to keep talking about him. And we need to teach about him to our younger generations. And, you know, if you're from my generation, like your children when you're old enough, and, you know, your children's children, everybody should know about Prince.
Exactly. Everyone should be exposed to the genius of Prince Rogers Nelson for thousands of years to come, until the end of time.
Yes.
That's what we think, anyway.
Definitely.
All right, so almost time to wrap up for this week's mega edition of This Week in Prince. We got one more little piece of news for you now, and that is that Bravado, you know Bravado, they make the official Prince merchandise. They got a brand new shirt out.
T-shirt, and it's so cool because for years and years and years and years and years, I've wanted the official parade tour shirt, which had Prince's parade cover on the front of it, and then I can't remember whether it was his autograph on the back, like this t-shirt had, or whether it had text on the back. I think the official one had text on the back, but this one is the parade cover on a black shirt, and then his autograph on the back with a little heart on the eye. Yep, and it's available now on turntablelab.com and probably other websites as well. Link will be in the description, so you can get one. Yep. And you can collect the whole set, which we are hoping to do. We've got about half of them so far, the official shirts that they have released. So we basically just wear print shirts every day now. Pretty much. That's what we do, yeah. So yeah, that wraps up This Week in Prince, episode 45. We're getting so close to 50, guys. We should do something totally special when we hit 50. Well, we'll see. We'll see what we'll do for the big 5-0. The big 5-0. All right, guys. That's it for This Week in Prince 45. I'm Casey Rain. I'm Kim Camellia. We are the Violet Reality. And thank you once again for tuning in to This Week in Prince. Peace and be wild. Hi, you've been watching The Violet Reality. Yes, you have. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with all your friends. Woo! Thanks. Bye. See you next week.